Oh, yeah. What's up, everybody? My name is Chris. This is Jeff. Welcome to Cref.
All right, guys. Wandavision episode number 8.
Yes, we're finally here. I heard this is going to be a big episode. We
Yeah,
haven't really looked too much into it yet, but I'm hoping it's going to be good.
Yeah, you know what? The last episode was really big,
Yeah.
and we got a huge reveal, right? We'll talk about that in a second, but if you guys want to skip straight to the reaction part of the video, we'll put the timestamp in the description box down below.
Or you can skip to this time right here.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so we found out that the person who's behind everything is Agatha Harkness,
Who we never heard of.
Never heard of her, but early in some of our earlier videos, we had some of our commenters mention her, and we were
They
like,
said, watch out for Agnes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are right?
Yeah.
And again, you guys are the ones that know all the cool stuff, which we love to learn. We love learning about, the fact that Wanda and Vision's kids are like actual superheroes in the Marvel universe. That's really cool. I think
one of them is called Wiccan, and the other one I forget
is Speed
or something. Yeah,
right. So that's cool. Maybe we'll see them grown up because they are growing at an alarming rate. I mean, the way it stands, right, they're currently missing. I guess it's kind of understood that Agatha took them because because Wanda goes to her house, and it's like, even in the last video, we were like, okay, wait, where are the kids? Where do they go? And then what happens, right? Wanda goes down to the basement. We see that that stone sort of tunnel. She walks in there, and then you see Agatha, and everybody's been actually listening to the song that Agatha was behind it all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Agatha. It was Agatha all along. I think that's what the song
I love
called.
that part. I was like, it's so meta whenever they do those type of things, because the entire episode we're asking one question, and especially me, I was asking, who is doing the filming? Who's asking the questions, right? And they basically revealed it, which is, I think that's one thing this show has done so well, is every time I have a question, somebody in the show asks it, and they basically answer it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, again, when this show started, I was not the biggest fan because I was just like, why Wanda and Vision of all the characters, right? It's like not Iron Man, not Captain America, Wanda and Vision. It was just seemed like an odd place to start because out of all the characters, they're the ones that kind of got the least amount of time on screen. And they were just always kind of in the background. Not that they weren't important or good characters, just they were kind of in the background. So I just thought it was a strange choice. On top of that, right, you had the whole kind of way the show was set up, which is like as a sitcom and all these different things. It was very meta and kind of a departure from the sort of mainstream vibe they're going with movies. So it was a big risk, but I think, kind of the numbers that we're seeing with the show and the general interest, it's paying off because people love it. I mean, again, like, it's cool that they're switching between TV land and what's going on the outside with Monica and James Woo, or Agent Woo, right? And now we know that it was Hayward, right? That's his name. He wanted Vision's body all along. One of the reasons Wanda even took the body in the first place is because Hayward was trying to resurrect him or trying to use the body for something, which is crazy.
I mean, look, I don't know too much about Hayward, right? But what I do know is I think it would be kind of cool if this is the Marvel version of Project Cadmus from DC. Because again, in DC, for those of you that don't know what Project Cadmus is, there's basically this project led by this woman named Amanda Waller. I think she was in Suicide Squad, where her whole job, her whole philosophy is, listen, the Justice League is too powerful. We need to make kind of our own version, our own check against the Justice League. So if this is their version, if this is the Marvel version of, okay, well, the Avengers are too powerful, so we need to take Vision, kind of take him for ourselves and make him ours, then I think that'd be a cool angle. I might be wrong about that. Maybe you guys can let us know in the comments.
I think that would be a cool angle to go because you've had a decent number of movies where you established that all these heroes are strong, right? But you don't really think about the fact that you have like normal human beings like Hayward, for example, who are like, I see the threat. I mean, look what Wanda did, right? Just because she was grieving. Again, it wasn't totally her, but just because she was grieving, she basically took all these people under her control, and she was willing to like maintain this entire town full of mind slaves, essentially.
Right.
Just because she missed Vision, she wanted to keep living with Vision, right?
Right.
And so it's like, are they heroes? Yes. But at the same time, they can kind of do what they want. It's kind of the Civil War dilemma, right, between Iron Man and Captain America. It's like, who keeps them in check?
Right. I mean, especially because Vision and Scarlet Witch and a whole bunch of them have like the Infinity Stone powers, which is basically what Thanos used to do the snap, right?
Super OP powers, right? So like, how do you fight that? And so with this episode, right, the questions that need to be answered. Okay, why is Agatha doing this? One of our commenters said that, okay, maybe because Wanda can resurrect Vision, that Agatha maybe has somebody that she wants to resurrect, namely her husband Ralph, which
who she keeps mentioning.
We've been hearing consistently, but we've never actually seen him. So I think that's a great theory. I'm gonna kind of stick with that. There's a few other things now. Monica has her powers.
Right.
We have Quicksilver at the end, who kind of came back in the after credit scene. Remember that? And so, is he really Quicksilver? Is he under Agatha's control?
Yeah. Some people were saying he was supposed to be Mephisto.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure if the Agatha Harkness like actually reveal, messes that theory up or not, or maybe that's still a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll see a lot of cool stuff now, a lot of answers that have been answered, a lot of things have been answered, but now still a lot of questions that we're wondering about. I want to see more of Monica, right? I think she's probably going to get her. She probably is going to show up in Captain Marvel 2.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe her own movie,
up,
right? Because you kind of have to set up for the next Avengers team up.
Yep.
Right? Who's the next Black Panther? Who's the next Captain Marvel? Who's all this kind of stuff, right? So I think that about covers it from the last episode. Vision kind of knows what's going on now, right?
I'm kind of glad that Wanda's not really the villain, because Jeff and I, throughout the episodes, you'll notice, if you haven't watched our previous episodes, please go back and watch them. We'll link them in the description below. We were kind of speculating, is Wanda the villain in all this? Because that would be interesting. That'd be weird, especially for a Marvel show. Like, she's the main character. She's an Avenger. And, people in the comments, you guys are telling us, hey, don't discount Wanda. There's something else behind it. And that's kind of, come into play with Agatha. So that's a good thing, in my opinion. I think the tension's off a little bit because we just weren't sure, like, who do we blame for this, right? Because there's the grief, but at the same time, there's this craziness of this hex that's been created. So I think in this going into this episode, I'm kind of like, okay, now we kind of have the bigger picture now. And so now I want to see, okay, who's going to fight who, and how is this all going to resolve? Yeah,
Wanda's always, if you kind of think about her legacy in the movies, right? She's always kind of been a victim, right? Because she's like, from the beginning, she's being used by Ultron, and then at some point she's with Captain America, and she kind of makes a mistake, right? And then she's a victim to like all people's perceptions, because she made a mistake. She couldn't really control her power, and everyone just kind of treated her like a ticking time bomb, right? And so what happens when somebody like that, just with so much power, is treated, at arm's length, right? It's like eventually it's gonna go to their head,
right?
And so you can't help but feel for her, right? Because as much as we're like, oh my gosh, she's like putting these people under her control, at the same time, you don't quite feel that she's the bad guy ever. As much as the stuff she's doing kind of blurs the line, you don't ever quite feel like, oh man, she's doing this intentionally because she's a bad person. No, she's just kind of victim of circumstance.
Yeah.
She's kind of doing the best with what she had. And if you think about it, she's really trying to take control, because she's never really had control, right? She's always been used or been trying to be controlled by other people.
Yep.
And so for once, she's kind of taking charge, and I like that, that's a good thing.
So in this upcoming episode, right, again, a lot of expectations going in. I heard this is a longer episode, which is good. I'm looking forward to that. Here's what I'm going to be looking for. First of all, I'm going to be looking at the intro and any commercials, because I love that part of this show, and listening to like the lyrics that are playing, what those commercials mean.
Right.
Definitely going to be looking out for that. Looking out for any other indication of how they basically recast Quicksilver, right? I want to see if they're going to do any more with that. Maybe explain how they're going to bring in maybe the X-Men or Deadpool, whatever. See more indications of that, and see hopefully what direction they're going to take this show in. Because if they're going to get rid of the Hex, right? If that's going to be a thing, then is there in a show anymore? Is there any more WandaVision? So those kind of the three things I'm going to be looking for in this episode.
Yeah, there's not that many episodes left, right? I think there's only 12 episodes in total, 12, 13. So, I mean, they've managed to stuff a lot of stuff in each episode. A lot of things have happened. So, I want to see, okay, what's going to happen with the kids? Who's Agatha? What's her deal? What's she trying to do?
Yep.
What's Hayward going to do now that Vision is in play again, right? Like, he can potentially get Vision again. Is Vision going to stay alive, right? There again, Quicksilver, does that mean more X-Men, like you said, Chris?
Yep. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
So let's see what happens, guys. So why don't you guys sit down, relax, grab some cereal? We always say that because we love cereal so much,
do.
and a lot of
Maybe
times
we'll eat some one day. On
Yeah,
this show,
maybe
right?
we will.
A little ASMR action for you.
I know, because it's just that's what we used to do. You know, eat, watch cartoons, eat cereal. I think that's the best way to do things. But either way, we hope you guys enjoy.
Let's get into it.
Okay,
Here we go.
let's do it. This intro always gets me hyped.
If only DC could clean up their act like Marvel.
Hopefully the new Snyder Cut will be good though.
Yeah, 4 hours. You guys should. There's a good article on Vanity Fair about that. You guys should check it out.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yep,
Salem,
Massachusetts. All right.
1693.
Always got to flash back to Salem.
Yeah.
Everything, all the stories start there, right? Any Marvel heroes that go back that far? No, right?
I almost said Intrigan.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same. I'm like, there's some DC people that are pretty mortal like that, but. Ooh,
Mother. Oh boy.
Oh, is she absorbing all the magic? Oh boy.
It's not going to work.
Somebody at Marvel's watching anime.
Yeah, I know.
Nani? I always love the magic route.
Yeah.
Whenever they're bringing magical characters,
Yeah.
this is my jam.
I can be good after just killing all of them.
Oh, cool. Energy blast. Yep.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, is that brooch? Is that brooch? What, does that have a symbol?
Baruch.
Brooch. Is that a symbol of something? Oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Let's go.
That accent really
The accent comes and goes.
Yeah.
Where are
That's what I love about this show. They say
They're
what we're
self-aware.
thinking.
They're self-aware.
I got close with
Fake Pietro.
if you will.
Okay, so I
Pietro.
guess he is fake.
Well, maybe she's just calling him that.
Right.
Really me, just my real brother's body is
Rio Brothers' bodies on
Okay,
the continent.
okay.
Okay.
Maybe he is fake.
Okay.
I just don't want to believe it, guys. I
Yeah.
want that to be the new Quicksilver.
I know.
Self-doubt that you
So this is
Of
cool.
course, there's
Agnes is a traditional witch, and Wanda's sort of a
transportation.
different kind of witch, right?
Yeah.
It's like traditional old school powers versus Wanda's sort of new school.
Here's a study. Crown molding. You're even running illusions.
Oh, I
Yeah,
guess she's kind
yeah.
of talking about the difference in their powers.
Right.
Magic
Yeah.
on autopilot.
Magic on autopilot. Wanda can do all these complex things easily, and she has to train for like years to do it, right?
I need you to tell me how you did this.
Oh. Okay. Wait a second.
I'm not.
Ooh, she just asked, I need to know how you did all this. I thought it was Agatha
Yeah,
that
yeah,
had something
yeah.
to do with this.
To be gentle.
I think she just infiltrated this hex.
Oh.
You'd rather
Yeah.
fall
Okay,
apart
that makes
than
sense.
Face your trial, hasn't it, Wanda?
Takes a lock of her hair.
Control usually means control.
Yeah. See, she's using Latin when she uses her spells, right? Wanda doesn't do any incantations. She just
True.
shoots energy
It's time
and with
to
intention, right?
rerun. Let's go.
That door kind of reminds me of Kingdom Hearts.
Yes. Bewitched.
Ah.
I Love Lucy. That's why she picked the sitcom. That makes sense.
Why is
That's
she
so.
making her-
That's
Yeah.
Malcolm in the Middle. You
Yeah,
see
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I Love Lucy, Bewitched, Malcolm in the Middle.
Right. See, I like how that little detail wasn't wasted. Right. It was done intentionally. The reason why it manifests as a sitcom was intentional. I love that.
Dick Van Dyke again? Always
Sitcom.
Yep. It's hitting me.
Wow.
Right
They
here.
brought it full circle.
Yeah.
Well done, Marvel. Well done.
Wow. Whew.
Ooh.
Wow. Oh. Okay. Was not prepared for that. Nope.
Oh my gosh.
Stark.
Industries.
See, who called it?
There it is.
Who called it?
Yep.
Oh, the TV's still
Oh,
going.
man. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
I just had to do that too, huh? Oh, I guess they just joined up with Hydra, just like that. Oh,
Oh, there it is.
Not one one subject.
Oh,
has
not
survived.
one subject has
That
survived direct. Okay, okay.
Interesting. So this is how. Not that she gets her powers this way, but I guess they're amplified.
Whoa, whoa.
Was that her? Did she see herself in the future?
I guess so.
What else is there?
This is a good way to introduce
Explain-
exposition
Yeah.
without just straight up
Exposition.
exposition.
I was
Is this in the Avengers headquarters?
It's true. I mean, you never really got much of the love story in the movies, right? It just
Yeah.
kind of happened.
Just like this wave.
And I like that they're filling in the gaps a little bit here.
It knocks me
I mean, they glazed over her past too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in
true.
Ultron, they didn't really go over it.
It just comes from me again.
I wonder if that was intentional at the time, or did they see this series coming, or I don't know. I'm not sure if Kevin Feige is
She's gonna drown.
thinking that ahead in the future. I don't know.
But what is grief? If not love?
Wow, what is grief if not love persevering? I like that line.
I think that's why Paul Bettany is such a good choice for this
Yeah,
character.
he brings a gravitas
Yeah.
to a role like this. Superheroes, by their nature, can be silly, right? But it takes a really good actor to bring groundedness and depth to a character like Vision.
Yep.
With a red face and a gem in the middle of his forehead, right?
I could just I'm so tired of this.
This is when she goes and gets his body, right? Just kind of storms in there. Oh, look at how
Look
she
at
looks at
that
the
look.
camera. Dang. Chilling. Dang. Look at it. All the fingers and
What are you doing?
We're dismantling.
the most
Oh,
sophisticated
so they are
sentient weapon ever made.
They are dismantling him.
Dismantling
Okay,
him.
they weren't putting him
Vision's
back
not a
together.
weapon. You can't do this.
Mayday! Mayday!
Boom. Don't mess with her, man.
Oh. Okay, wait.
That's
That's
not
unexpected.
how-
That's unexpected.
she
I
just
thought
leaves.
yeah, I thought she just stormed and took him and left. Maybe that doesn't
Or is
happen
that
yet.
yeah, maybe she comes back and
Somebody's
does it.
gonna maybe talk to her or something.
Oh, New Jersey.
She going to Westview?
Maybe.
Yeah,
she's going to Westview.
Going to
Okay.
Westview.
That's,
the boss's wife.
Yeah, the boss's wife. Mrs. Hart. To
grow
grow old
old
and
and,
oh, so maybe they were gonna buy it
Yep.
together.
In
Okay.
Westview, New
In
Jersey.
Westview, New Jersey. Maybe she just stands there and has like a power,
Does Westview have power?
just an overwhelming emotion, just causes her to amplifies her power and. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
See? Yep.
All right. That's it though. It's just her going Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. See, look. Whoa.
Okay.
What the?
Okay.
What?
She didn't get his body. She just reconstructed him
From her memory, or something?
from her power.
Whoa.
Oh boy. The transition into the sitcom world.
That was cool.
That doesn't really
Bravo.
answer the questions I really had. I thought it was gonna be somebody giving her power or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa, look at her. Chaos magic.
Chaos magic. Ooh.
The Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
Ah.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Okay. There it is. All right, guys. After credits
After
scene.
credits scene.
Okay, so back to Hayward.
We're outside the hex again.
Yeah.
Present time.
Oh, is it Vision's body? The.
Oh. Yeah.
Holy
Okay.
cow.
Is this like some alternate version of Vision, like
Yeah.
Dark Vision or something?
Yo, that's crazy.
Okay.
That's
All right.
crazy. All right, guys. That was the episode.
Wow.
So let's talk about
Yeah,
it.
let's talk about it. There's a lot of stuff that happened in there. I mean, I think this was their clever way of kind of, I think Jeff mentioned earlier about doing some exposition without really doing exposition.
Yeah.
I think it did a good job of filling in some of the gaps, because it started off right away. It didn't waste any time with like an intro or any commercial. It just got straight into the plot, which I was I don't know if you guys remember earlier in the episode, I said that I was kind of looking forward to the commercial and the intro. I really liked that part of this whole show.
Two of the things that you said you're looking forward to,
and they just completely cut, which I understand. They only have a limited amount of time, and so they're trying to get to the point, which that's okay, I guess.
Yeah, so here's what we know. Okay, so when Agatha is talking to Wanda, what's pretty clear to me, especially looking at Agatha's backstory, is that she was craving power, right? Which is why her coven was like, okay, you basically overreached. You're too young, and you kind of went. You started to reach. It's almost like Icarus. You reached for things that you shouldn't have been reaching for, and it's clear that she's just craving more power for some reason. Maybe just because she wants it, or just because she needs it for some reason. Yeah. But when she's talking to Wanda, what she says is, "Okay, it took me so long to like memorize these spells, right? To memorize the incantations. It took so much power for me to just be able to do this simple thing. And yet you are able to somehow create this entire hex where you have all these complex patterns of people going about their days, going to their jobs, right? You have people animated on the outskirts of the hex, right? How are you able to do all that so easily, right? While it takes me forever to be able to do that kind of stuff, right?
Right. Then it kind of goes into, okay, well, they kind of do like a little flashback of her childhood, which really kind of answers the question, why is it a sitcom?
Yes,
why are they jumping from sitcom to sitcom in those specific eras?
Right.
And it's a pretty easy answer because you see the DVDs they're watching. It's Malcolm in the Middle. It's I Love Lucy. It's the Dick Van Dyke Show. And so that moment kind of really hit me, where you kind of go back to that memory when she's young. That's kind of her safe place.
Exactly, right? It represents that place of safety and that place of like normalcy.
And I like that. I like that they made that connection because, we were kind of speculating that, okay, maybe when her and Vision were kind of off on their own, that's what they were watching, but it's actually something deeper than that. It was her parents, which is great, right? And then in that kind of sequence, you have, the Stark missile kind of come down. Her parents are dead. And it's interesting, we call it the Stark thing. It's always Stark, right? Yeah. Stark Industries always has some hand in it, right? And they mentioned that she is like a baby witch there, right? She uses her powers in some small way, but that's not really where her powers unlock, which is when you get to the Hydra part.
Right. And then she makes contact with the stone, the Infinity Stone, which kind of amplifies her, I guess, innate powers. Which is, again, very cool because in Age of Ultron, they kind of pass over her origins pretty quickly. It's just kind of done in a quick series of, I don't know, it was just quick shots or whatever. But it's like, at the time, we didn't really need to know too much because we're just kind of thrust into it. But now this episode kind of gave us a chance to just slow things down with Agatha serving as sort of the narrator, sort of the guide through Wanda's past. We get to see a more fleshed out version of it. And what was interesting is when we get to the part with Vision and Vision's body where she goes into Sword, we see that she doesn't take the body. So I'm thinking that maybe Hayward doctored that footage as an excuse to go after Wanda. Because it's like, oh, look what Wanda did. She stormed into Sword, stole Vision's body, but that's not actually what happened.
And more importantly, I think he used it to justify what we saw in the end credits scene, which is that kind of weird alternate version of Vision. Right.
Because again, they were trying to quote unquote dismantle this extremely powerful sentient weapon, but not actually. They were trying to it kind of is reminiscent a bit of Cadmus because they're like, okay, can we make our own version, right? Which I get, it makes sense considering how powerful these people are, these superhuman beings are. So I liked that. I liked that. This was a slower episode. There wasn't a lot of like, whoa moments. It was just more like, okay, set up, exposition. But you need that because you see that, okay, Agatha again, right? She wants to know how Wanda did it, right? And that's why she was trying to go through her past to see what the setup was.
And to be honest, I wasn't satisfied with the answer. Right? Like, I thought it was going to be, okay, so we have the first step of her getting the power from the Infinity Stone.
Right.
Then I expect there to be something else. Like, okay, she meets somebody that helps her unlock her power. She has some sort of thing. Instead, she just goes Super Saiyan with her powers and just creates this thing. I was like, okay, well, why do we need a whole episode to get to that conclusion?
Right. I think we all kind of figured it was something like that because we see her use that power when she extends the hex out, right? We saw that already.
Yeah.
So for them to be like, oh yeah, it was just that. Like, okay,
Yeah. I was
fine.
like, okay.
But yeah, I like you, Chris, I was hoping for, okay, she has this chance encounter, this sort of fateful encounter with somebody's like, look, I can show you how to use your powers. And
For me, there's a price to pay.
yeah,
or something,
in
you
a
know?
much more significant way. And then to see like Vision, like the manifestation of Vision that we see kind of come out of her and manifest outside, like that was unexpected. I
Yeah.
thought it was, I don't know how I feel about that.
So I just thought of a theory, right? Maybe you guys will agree with me, maybe you won't. I think what's going to happen if they want to keep Vision in the Marvel Universe is this is what's going to happen. They're going to take the body of the artificial Vision and they're going to take the Vision from inside the Hex and they're going to combine
smush
it.
them
Exactly.
together?
I think
Okay.
like he's going to be able to like embody that Vision and that's how they're going to bring him back.
Yeah, that's clever.
Let's see if I called it right.
That's
I
clever.
might be wrong.
Right. What I thought was that when Hayward kind of opens the thing to the flap to the tent, there is going to be like another Avenger, somebody there.
That's
to
what I
kind of
thought. That's
say-
what I
which
thought.
I mean, but this is fine too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because using Vision against Wanda, right? I mean, kind of saw that coming, but that's not to say that it's not satisfying. But to me, another sort of mini revelation was, again, when we found out that Agatha was behind all of it. It wasn't that she was behind all of it. She was kind of just pulling the strings. But Wanda was the one that created the Hex.
Yeah.
She just kind of infiltrated it because she saw that, okay, there's this massive surge of magical power that came out of nowhere. Where did it come from? I need to go investigate. She
Yeah.
goes in, she sees Wanda and everything she's created. She's like, okay, I need to figure out how Wanda did this. And at the end, right, what does she say? Oh, this is chaos magic. And that makes you the Scarlet Witch, which I guess is some sort of title, almost like the Phoenix sort of kind of thing.
Yeah. That I didn't know.
Yeah,
I
didn't know that.
I'm
either.
not sure if that's made up for just this show.
Yeah, or if
like,
that's canon.
Or that's like, okay, the Scarlet Witch is actually like a thing.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
Marvel
yeah.
thing. You guys have to tell us that. Well, I'm not
Right,
really
right.
sure.
I am curious about that, but totally unexpected. And
Also, another thing, if she is the Scarlet Witch, how come she can't just completely just own Agatha, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, what's going on? I mean, that doesn't make sense.
what's interesting is when they're in Agatha's like sanctum, so to speak, she's like, oh, the runes, you can't read the runes. Like if the witch, whichever witch makes the runes has the power. And
Right,
so
right.
that's kind of like an old magic-esque trick, right? Very, which is okay, fine. But now that Agatha has her kids hostage, right?
And they left the sanctum, right?
Right.
They opened the door. They're
technically-
outside.
Yeah. So technically, she should be able to finagle her way and use her power somehow.
yeah,
So
exactly.
again, that's how the episode ended. So now we'll see if immediately when the next episode begins, if that's what she
Yeah,
does.
maybe
She
she
gets them
just-
out of it.
yeah.
I thought what was going to happen is the kids are going to grow up even more,
That would be
and
cool.
then they're going to use their own powers to get out of it, right? And I just wonder how that's going to work because like now that they're fully grown and Wanda isn't she's not super old, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's going to
yeah.
be weird to see them all existing together.
True.
So I mean, I like this episode. Again, a lot slower. It was cool. I liked how they went into Wanda's backstory. You see the emotion with her parents. You see her, in the Hydra facility. You just see how all the grief and all the loneliness she goes through just starts to build and build.
I mean, that was good. It's just that I think what the problem is for me is that they started this show off and the subsequent episodes were so meta, right?
Yeah,
like you had the sitcom aspect, you had the commercials, and then it's almost like a magic trick where when you kind of see how it's done, it's like, okay, wasn't that cool?
So interesting about that is Chris and I, we used to do like magic tricks with cards and coins and stuff, and being in magic, it's cool because you want to know how the trick is done. But once you know how the trick is done,
it's never magic.
It's never as
right?
good as actually
Yeah.
the trick as someone who doesn't know how the trick is done. And so now that we've seen, that we know that Agatha's behind it, we see how all the little tricks and stuff are being done. It's like, okay. And I think that just goes with shows in general, because when there's a mystery, part of the fun is just being like, okay, what is it? What's going on? Right. But when you find the answer, is it ever really as satisfying as just being caught up in the mystery? I guess it's up for debate. I mean,
I
you
think,
guys might be satisfied with it.
I think what it's going to drive the show for me now is number one, like, what are the implications of being the Scarlet Witch? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Especially because, we don't really know, right?
Yeah.
Number two is, okay, well, if it's not going to be sitcom-y anymore, maybe it is, it's going to go back to that, then the next thing is going to be the visions fighting each other and that whole situation of how they're going to reconcile. Like, this vision could be completely different, or it could be the same vision, just altered, like what's powering him, right? It's not an Infinity Stone, obviously.
Because they said, we just needed a little bit of power, so maybe it's like, maybe it's the like Wanda's energy,
the chaos magic coming off of him, so
something like that.
So that's really what's going to drive for me. If we're not going back to sitcom land, we're just going to go drive into main plotville, then I think that's really what's going to drive for me now.
Yeah, see, the whole TV land, sitcom land stuff was a cool hook because it's like, what's this about, right? Yeah. And for the first few episodes, we got that, right? But I think for the majority of the viewing audience, right, they're so used to the normal Marvel stuff, that kind of coming back a little bit to normalcy is, I guess it's the safe bet, and it's sort of the natural progression of things, because it's like, okay, now that we've had a little bit of that, now we're kind of coming back to what we know, right, and definitely. So. If I had to rate this episode, just thinking about that, to reiterate, I liked how I liked how they went into Wanda's past. They really dialed up the emotion. So now we really feel for her, because again, Wanda's been this enigmatic character for so long, and she's kind of not gotten her time in the limelight. And so to see her childhood, to see everything she's gone through, all the people that she's lost, right? I feel more connected to her now. I mean, maybe that's a stretch, but it's just the way that they, the way that they shot those scenes, it just really does make you feel for her a little bit more. And so it was a little bit slower though, and I think it was a little bit on the nose for Agatha to be going through her past quite so blatantly, let's go from this scene, and now let's go from this scene, right? It's like, okay,
it was kind of a clever way to do a flashback, but the result was like, okay, well, we kind of already figured she just went Super Saiyan.
The payoff wasn't.
It wasn't good.
I was hoping for some big reveal, like, like you said, she met this person, but anyway, with all the whole. Also, another thing is just, I like Agatha. I think she's cool. She's
definitely interesting.
Very
character,
cool. Again, so all that, I would give this, with the information and everything, I know you guys think I'm pretty harsh on episodes, but it takes a lot for me to give a high score. So let's go with 3.8 out of 5.
Actually, that might be higher than I was going.
Okay.
But just because, again,
you're usually a more generous than I am.
You know what? Here's the thing. Again, like, the payoff wasn't enough for me. You start
Super Saiyan.
You start this show so interesting. Like, okay, we're gonna bend. It's almost like Doctor Strange, where they're gonna bend the rules a little bit, and the outcome is gonna be interesting. But again, like, I have been enjoying the episode. In the episodes in general, and this one it provided more context. So I'd say 3.5 out of a 5.
All right, guys, that was our reaction and our review. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought about the episode. Is there stuff that we missed? I mean, there's probably a lot of Easter eggs in there that we didn't notice the first time around.
Also, general Marvel knowledge, the significance of the Scarlet
Chaos
Witch,
magic, all that sort of stuff. You guys are always so good with that, so let us know down below. Let us know your scores, of course. If you think that this episode was a little bit slower, we certainly did. But that's fine. Again, sometimes you need a little bit of information episode, some information dumps. That's totally fine. But until the next video, we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.